In this week's Thinking Thursday, going to be looking at smart tennis. So in part one, we'll be looking at playing to your opponent's weakness. Obviously, this is a very sort of simple and well understood idea in terms of if you want to win, try and expose your player's weakness. I think sometimes with a lot of players, this is just a very basic idea, and people can think, oh yeah, their backhand's weaker or their forehand's weaker, so try and play to that. First step is obviously sort of analysing your opponent and getting a real understanding for what type of ball they struggle with on what side. It's important to be specific, so it's not just saying, okay, their forehand's better than backhand. What's better? What's worse? Why is it worse? It's a lot more complex than that. Looking at a diagram here, this doesn't have all the factors. Has other stuff in there such as speed, and spin. But say you just look at the forehand, you could be like, okay, look, they struggle with depth on the forehand. Is what sort of depth is it? Maybe it's deep and hitting through the court as they hit it late. So really understanding that there's certain specific shots that people struggle with, and that's their weakness. And really analysing and figuring out that is key. Then it's once you've analysed and you've come up with a weakness and certain things they struggle with, it's not just hitting to that weakness all the time. Players can then adapt, they can change their position, they can get used to it and get comfortable and learn how to deal with it. It's then being smart in terms of using your tactics and using your shots before in how to expose that certain shot. So if it's say out wide on the backhand, it's how you can get them out wide on the forehand to open up the backhand and get them on the stretch. So therefore they're playing that one. Just going to the same shot every single time isn't really going to open up that weakness and exploit it. And plus, they just become used to it and comfortable with it. I think one of the important things as well is sometimes people they see a strength and then almost become scared of it. They don't want to hit to it because obviously that's their strength. They can hurt you with that and they can win points with that. And interesting on the flip side of that is actually if you want to attack a shot, sometimes attacking someone's strength is a good option because a lot of people attack players' weaknesses, so therefore they actually develop skills to be able to defend on the weaker side and maybe pass or deal with it better. Whereas players that constantly just train, their strength in terms of an attacking position might not actually train it in a defensive position as much, or might not be tested as much in matches on that side. So sometimes when you attacking to their strength, they might not have the same skills or resources to be able to develop with it. So it's not always seeing a strength and staying away from it. It's maybe looking through that a little bit and testing them out on that side in different scenarios. Obviously staying away from, that short ball that they like or that high ball that they like and using it in a different way. So just a short one there about how, it's really important, obviously, identifying weaknesses, being specific, identifying certain weaknesses, how you can exploit that using the shots before and shots after, and then also looking into how the strength is sometimes can also be their weakness. Um, Next week will be part two on playing smart tennis. So if you want to listen, you have any questions on this one, comment or message, and yeah.